back to another episode of
Let's Get Spooky.
I'm Leanna Vamp.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Ashley.
And we are back to talk about, well, first of all, we were going to talk about beauty things.
Yeah.
And then AJ comes in with like, maybe we should do
Fucked up things.
I was like, let's talk about like body modifications and stuff. And then it's like one of those things that you say and then you immediately regret it because I said it and I'm like, wait, no, because I have to be the one that does like, like I have to I'm going to have to do research on this and I'm going to throw up. And it's like, I am totally fine. I think like, obviously if you want to do something to your body to like, make yourself feel more beautiful or like feel more comfortable in your skin, 100% do it. But for some reason, like when people cut their tongues and like things like that, for some reason, like I can feel it on myself. And then I'm just like,
I don't
know if I can feel it on myself.
Does it?
I
like
know.
That tongue things freak me out like that. Like even piercings.
Have you ever got a paper cut on your tongue? Because that hurts.
No.
How would you get
licking
a paper
an envelope?
Oh,
you know when you're licking relatives' envelopes,
but you lick them like this
for
like,
Christmas.
You don't lick them like.
I know you're licking the edges.
You gotta lick the edge. You gotta go like, and then you go boop. That sometimes when you're hungry, you get a little more aggressive with your tongue,
and you
sometimes lick the edge of the paper by accident, and so not just the glue.
You know what? It's very rare that I have to lick an envelope. I usually pay online or, and when I do, sometimes I
Some
dab.
people pay people to do that, I guess.
I dab, or you get the sponge and you do
No,
if you have to.
I like people to taste what I taste like when they feel Christmas.
Well, just wait until you're a serial killer and then they use that against you to find out if your DNA matches the DNA left at the scene.
What I was
a paper cut for it.
Is that it doesn't feel good, so I can't imagine splicing your tongue because a paper cut to the freaking tongue is bad enough.
So when we initially talked about it, all of us agreed, like in the group chat, we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. None of us really thought about the fact, because initially we decide like a week before we're going to actually do the episode. So we're not going straight to the research. I think moving forward, when we have a topic, like initially Google it first.
We need quality control.
Right.
I was like, this is a good, although when
it's a great idea.
When I did suggest it to the group, I was like thinking more tame stuff. Cause like things like
nothing's tame
like
on the internet.
Ear piercing
or like
nose
even just
ring.
like sometimes like the simplest things, like just like, I'm like, that's so interesting. Like I find like certain little things that are normal, like even just like bleaching your hair. Like I bleached my roots like last weekend and just like that process. I'm like, that's so interesting and so weird. And like, if you really think about it, it's like, we're putting this stuff on our hair, like these chemicals on our hair to change the color of it to be like, I do like a weird color, like, not like a normal natural color. Yeah. And it's just like certain things. So I was thinking kind of more along that line. And then you started talking about eyeball tattoos and I'm like, okay, well, we're going that way. So let's talk about body mods.
So there is a lot of things that are what we consider normal, which is piercings,
tattoos.
Like tattoos.
Because they're like, they dated back in history too. Like tattoos are 4,000 years old that they can record. And then like they found a mummy from 10,000 years ago with tattoos on it. And
could you imagine what that process was like?
Probably pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But like to think about how body modification has not only transcended time, but also like it's cultural now where like if you look at, tribes in Africa, they do like, which I'll talk about like scarification, like all these things where it's actually like super normal. It's just, it comes off aggressive to, other people.
Yeah, it's just what society deems as normal.
Yeah.
So let's start with, I know like you already mentioned your hair, which is technically a body modification. It's attached to your body, but what other things, by seeing us, you could probably tell, but let's start off with talking about the things that we have done, and then we'll get into the crazier
Well,
things.
I can say from experience, my body does not like piercings at all.
Your body rejects
Does
them?
it like reject it where like it grows the big pimple thing around it?
No, like
that's so gross.
I've had like both holes on my ears done. I've tried my belly button and that rejected, and then I got an industrial bar. And that was a big rejection on many levels. But like my body just can't handle metal.
So it just doesn't heal.
I wonder if it's
also,
like the type of piercing.
I don't know if I just, because I was getting it done at Claire's in the mall too.
That's your first problem.
Maybe that's
you should
why.
always go to a tattoo shop.
What's
for
crazy is
piercings.
like I've had them out since I was 12 and the holes still get infected. They've never closed. And like,
Which is so weird.
If I sleep on one for too long and I don't have the AC on and it gets hot, it'll get like stuff in it.
And usually what happens is like the hole is obviously it's not healed, so it's open. So it'll get things like shampoo or conditioner build up in it where you don't think that like anything could get into that. And then it gets infected.
Yeah. So I don't have any piercings anymore.
But tattoos, you have
I have
tattoos?
A lot. Yeah, I have a lot. A lot of them are hidden. But I was one of those kids who like, I'm going to count. I'm like, ooh, I have 10 now. And then like all of them started meshing together on my sides and stuff. And I'm just like, I think I
just have a lot.
I just have a lot of them. But yeah, anything else I don't think I have. I just dye my hair black because no one needs to know my natural color.
So hair dye piercings that were all essentially rejected, so taken out in tattoos.
Yes, I think. I might have.
We have like an hour, so if anything comes to you, comes back to you, you can just throw it in.
I don't know. While I'm coherent, I don't think
no
happened.
More on the list. Okay, AJ. So besides hair,
I'm pretty much the same. Like I dye my hair. I have tattoos. I have my ears pierced, and I had my
Monroe.
Pierced. But that one like never closed, and I hate it. Like because it just looks like a black dot.
Yeah, same with me.
I always try to edit out of photos because I'm like it looks
like,
so stupid,
Peel.
and I saw online like you can actually go and get it. Like they
cut it.
They cut it.
Ew.
Like almost like take like a hole punch and they like punch it into your lip so it takes out an even bigger chunk and then they do a little stitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm really tempted to do that, but at the same time, like I don't know if I can
face me. It looks like a freckle. That's what mine looks like.
Couldn't they just tattoo it like lighter in there and then it all
like I don't know what makes it that so
like prominent.
Put some clay in there. Just
every morning you put some clay.
Plug it up with some clay.
Yeah.
And then put some makeup on.
Yeah.
Silly putty.
That's what the Lord made Play-Doh for. Come on, guys.
Just that one piercing and then your tattoos in your ears.
Yeah. I've always wanted to get the little...
Oh, in the cartilage? I don't know what that one's called.
Because they say it's like good for like migraines and I get awful.
Really?
Yeah. They say that it relieves. But then some people say when you get it pierced because it's so thick that like it hurts so bad that like some people say that like their knees buckle and they like fall.
Like they can't.
Whoa.
So if you can get past the pain threshold, you'll be
fine.
But
it's like a pressure point that's supposed to like help with migraines that I've heard.
That's interesting. I've never heard that.
I also feel like it could kind of look cool.
It does look really cool, but like feel like I'm like squeezing it with my nail. I'm like,
hurts.
Ow. Well, okay, so
I don't even like ears, so I don't put anything in mine.
Hold on, before we move on.
Ears. Ears are just dumb.
Well, wait till we get to my story. You'll be all about it. But when I got my Monroe pierced first, I went to a tattoo shop and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." He pierced it once, but when he was trying to get the jewelry in, it slipped, so he didn't get the jewelry in. So he's like, so I'm like, so it's already pierced. So do you just push it in? He's like, no, you have to re-pierce it. And I'm like, okay, I mean, we've already did it once. One more time.
So that could be a reason why it didn't.
Maybe, but no, wait, it keeps going. Then he pierces it again. But at that point, my lip was so swollen. He was like, the jewelry didn't go in. And he was like, yeah, you're so swollen. Do you want me to try one more time? And I'm like, well, third time's a charm. And I'm like a dumb teenager. I'm like, I really want this.
And your lips,
this
like,
piercing is going to make me look so cool, Mom. Let me get my piercing done, please. So I'm like, hey, third time's a charm. Let's just do it. And he tries it one more time. And at that point, I was so swollen, so bloody that he's like, yeah, I don't think I should try anymore. So I literally have gotten it technically four times because then I waited a couple weeks and it was mostly closed. And then I called a place that I probably should have gone to begin with because it's like, I forgot the name of it, but it was one that like everyone was like, yeah, that's the place you go to get your piercings done.
Don't go to
And
Joe
I went
Bob.
there and they literally did it in like 2 seconds. The chick got it done like in like
He
you're
spoinked
done.
you.
Yeah, way.
Spoinked right in the lip hole.
Whoa, right in the jugular.
So yeah, that's probably, now that I think about it, that's probably why it hasn't like fully closed because it's been pierced like 4 times.
And even if they like, did they go in the same spot or try to go into the same?
I think
you don't want another scar.
Even when I went for when they actually successfully did it, there was like 2 little holes right next to each other.
Oh shit, that sucks. Can you I'm just trying to, mine's on this side. I'm like trying to feel if you have the scar
Mine not
tissue.
Cool. I don't have one.
So when I wanted
Should I draw one?
Yeah.
Yeah, just Sharpie it on right now. Are you gonna do it?
No.
No, of course not.
What if I have a hot date after that? blowing that shit on my face.
I think my body mod thing started in high school where I had ear piercings and I always wanted like, I saw a girl and she had them like all down her ear and I thought it was the coolest thing. So I pierced these two. I have two like in the middle of my ear on both sides. I did them myself. So I was like, if I go to Claire's, they're going to charge me $30 each time. And all they do is stick a needle through it. Like I can do that. So I did is it Parent Trap where she numbs the ear, but I didn't do the apple behind with ice cube. I just numbed it and I got a needle, like a really thick sewing needle. And it was so numb, I couldn't even feel it. And I feel like I did a really good job. They're pretty even. But then I was like, oh, I should gauge my ears because that's what all the cool kids are doing.
Oh yeah, I tried to do that, but it hurt too much, and I'm like,
yeah, and
not worth it.
There was like those little cone things that you could get, and it was basically like at the end was the full size of the gauge, and the beginning was like a little tiny. So you start with a small piece, and there was those little rubber things you would put on it to hold it in. And I was like, that's like $30. I don't have a job. I'll just use nails.
Oh my gosh!
So I went into the garage. I mean,
rusty nails?
No, like new ones. I cleaned them. I put them in alcohol. But I went and I got like just
attractive.
Different sizes. So I would like keep them in for like a couple days, and I would get little ones, and then I just got bigger until I got to the size that I wanted. In hindsight, fucking stupid idea.
That's like the
Don't
most
ever
punk
do
rock
that.
thing I think I've heard you do.
Right. I was pretty cool when I was in high school. At least I thought I was. Totally regret it. It was a stupid idea. So I got to the size. I think it was technically a 0 gauge, which was like the cool thing is you would go to Starbucks and you get the green straw. And if you could put the green straw in your ear,
I was not cool.
And you had like holes in your ears. And I thought it was so cool. And then I remember seeing like Halloween earrings and like all these cute earrings. And I was like, oh, those are really cool. I want to wear those, but I'm going to have to take these out. So I've had them out for a really long time. But if I wear heavy earrings, I have like saggy, droopy earlobes. And I've looked into surgeries to try to like stitch them up. And I'm like, and then you got to re-pierce them and the damage is done.
Don't they smell too?
I mean,
big old crazy ones like onion ring size.
If
it matches an onion ring, then you're really cool.
If you put an onion ring in your ear, then you have bigger problems.
I saw a girl that had a snake through hers.
Like a real one?
Yeah.
well, poor guy.
It's probably cozy.
I mean, I think he was having fun. He had a smile on his face. I'm not going to judge him.
This is fun. Yes, they would be, because essentially as you're stretching them, you're ripping your skin. You're not necessarily at a certain point. You weren't actually, your skin doesn't have that much like malleability or plasticity or whatever. So you would start tearing them if you got too big. So I had them in for, I don't know, maybe like maybe 2 years. And I was like, that was really stupid. Mm-hmm. But by that time they had already been stretched for so long that they never went back to normal. Yeah. So, and then
she moved on to screws.
No, I took them out and I was like, that's dumb. I'm not going to put nails in my ears anymore.
Okay.
But then Cameron and I met, this was years later, and I wanted a Monroe. I had gone to a tattoo place and they pierced my nose. Mm-hmm. Totally fine. And I wanted a Monroe, and then he wanted his lip pierced. And we're like, we could go to a place, but if you just go on eBay, we can buy the needle and the little clamp. And it was like $20 for both things. And I'm like,
just buy the clamp. When in doubt, buy the clamp.
No, but listen, the clamp is the key, because the clamp makes it so you don't feel it. Because the clamp basically pinches.
Wait,
you know,
what's
when you
a clamp?
So when I did my nose, they put like a little clamp on it, and it like basically snaps it into place. So you're holding the skin, and then they go through a hole. So it just helps you like be more precise, and especially it's a surgical clamp, but especially like on skin that's like thicker, it smashes it down so you can punch through faster. So we got the piercing needles.
That's why the first one failed. He didn't do that.
He didn't do a clamp.
I think they did on the second one, but this was 20 years ago, so I don't remember.
Is key.
We're going to sell that on a shirt.
I'm not recommending anyone do this by yourself.
Please do not do this at home.
I was done.
Especially not during a pandemic.
No. Don't listen to the Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord is telling you to do it.
It's going to be like a clam bake, but people are going to have clamp bakes.
The last thing we need is to be sued because some dumb kid at home tried to do it.
Because we told them to pierce their face. So I do not recommend doing this, but we ordered it. We got 2 piercing needles, the clamp. We had
You didn't
rubbing
share
alcohol.
a needle? That would have been romantic.
No, we had separate needles just for, you know.
Oh.
And we
Guess
figured
weren't
if we
dating for
screwed
that
up,
long.
it was early in our relationship. We weren't comfortable with sharing piercing needles. So he did mine first, and we like placed it. He clamps it on. I don't think we even did ice. We didn't numb them. We're just like, let's just go for it.
Ew.
And so the hardest part, though, is the jewelry.
Yeah.
Like once you get the needle through, you're like, sweet, that's not that hard. It didn't really hurt. It was very fast. And then, so
That's what
basically
she
what he did, out of context, if people are listening to this and you didn't start at the beginning, it sounds very horrible.
Yeah.
So as you basically pull the needle out, you push the piercing through. So he had some trouble getting it in all the way. And this,
That's what she
this
said.
sounds very
Wait a
sexual.
second.
It's
What are we
not.
talking about?
But the thing is, like you're saying, you get really swollen.
Okay,
So-
sure.
Shut up. You're ruining my story. So your lip gets swollen super fast. So the clamp helps. And
Okay.
you put the little thing in there and then it was fine. And then it was my turn to do his lip. And it was the bottom, like this part of his lip. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, it's fine. You did mine. Everything went well. But now I have to do his. I'm not a professional. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm like, but if you could do it, I can do it. Right. And so same thing. I was like, are you ready? And it's very hard to push the needle through skin. Like, yeah, it makes a sound. It's very, it was more
I like
uncomfortable.
the sound that my onesie made when it
Yeah,
snapped.
yeah, it was up.
When you sat down.
So it took us maybe, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes. It
Mine
didn't,
was really quick. You took forever.
yeah, I took forever because I was afraid. I was like, what if I like go through your jaw or your gums or like I stab you in the face?
All the way through, you went pop.
Yeah, and then I had to like push it through.
Ew.
I am not a professional body piercer. It's not in my line of work. I'm not good at it. I shouldn't do it. I'm never going to do it again. But for friends, I offer my services.
I'm good. I am.
I'm
So-
rejecting you.
I feel like always go to a professional. In hindsight, our
Yes.
things turned out fine. The only thing
Except
that sucks,
if you buy a clamp,
if
which
you buy
we
a
also
clamp,
recommend.
it's all kosher. Everything will be perfect if you buy a clamp.
Get spooky clamps that also open beer.
Let's get clamped.
Yeah,
Let's get
that sounds dirty.
Just get a clamp. I still have the clamp in the filing cabinet, so I can pull it out,
It's an antique.
sanitize. It's an antique. But yeah, in hindsight, I don't think it was. I took the piercing out, and now I just have a hole in my face. He has a hole in his face, but he has a beard, so
Yeah,
you can't
see
really
it.
tell.
I'm holeless.
Just grow a beard.
I'll just grow a beard.
Just grow a
All
mustache.
my problems will be
It'll be
solved.
fine.
And then, as you were saying, oh, it's really gross when you get the little pimple things. It's like keloid scarring.
Yeah.
I
Ew.
did the industrial bar, and the piercer, like if you don't do it at the right angle, it's basically pulling. Like the bar is pulling. And so usually that's when people scar. So I had a giant on both sides keloid scar. And I was like, oh, it'll go away. And it didn't. I had it in for like 6 months and I had to take it out because it hurt. It
Yeah.
was like a constant headache. So go to someone that's professional, but also someone that is highly, like, has good ratings
Look
and
them up on
recommendations.
Yelp. If they have less than 4 stars,
Don't
or
do it.
just
somewhere else.
Photoshop piercings in
That's
Photoshop.
probably
also
smarter.
what
And then you don't
even
have
to
scars.
have them.
Yeah.
If you're trying to look cool to the kids on Instagram, just fucking Photoshop.
yeah.
And I ended up putting my nose ring back in because I had it for so long and it would never close. And I'm like, it's still cool. I'll put it back in.
I always thought it'd be cute to get the septum, but
Yeah.
I heard it hurts.
Yeah, I'm just not down for a lot of pain anymore, I think.
Like, yeah.
We're getting old. So we
Yeah,
don't need it.
when
We
I
already
was
have
young-
back pain. Like
When
what-
I was
what
young, I
else
was
can
like,
you need?
yeah, pierce my face. Unprofessional person that's never
Yeah.
done this before, and I'll do it for you. But now I'm like, I don't want an infection. Then I got to go to the doctor, and
It's a whole
it's a
thing.
thing, and I don't need that.
No thanks.
Okay, so I think that's it. Tattoos,
That's all I
pierced
have.
faces.
Yep.
But now on to the real shit.
Nasty shit. Not nasty
Not
because,
na-
to some people, this is beautiful.
It's
and
all
so,
your
to a certain
perspective.
extent, it kind of is cool. Like
Yeah.
It is.
There's
It's
certain
the process that I think about where I'm just like,
Yeah, it's the medical thing, and I don't know if it's because like it's kind of like when I cook raw chicken and I have to look at it and then I have to eat it, and I'm like, I don't want to look at it before. I just want to see the final result.
Once it's healed.
It's like I don't want to see how they do it. Like when it's done, I'm like, that's cool shit.
Do you know anyone that has their tongue split?
Yes.
Or anyone that's
I know
done it?
3 people.
What?
And the thing is with like tongue splitting is it's like not something you go to the doctor for, and it's not regulated. It's kind of like being a tattoo artist. It's like there's no real like tattoo school you have to go through like being in a medical profession. So you think of all these people doing it and you're like, well, fuck, I hope that they have a license, which they don't.
Do you get a tongue split at a piercing place?
It's
I don't know who does
it's
that.
basically like a private body modification person.
So it's someone they're not necessarily like it's not part of their resume.
It's not like you don't get a doctor's degree in splitting, but it's one of those things too where like I've heard a lot of stories where people are like it's the aftercare that they fuck up on, and that's when it gets really infected and gross. But the actual splitting isn't as.
What do they use? I didn't go
scissors?
deep.
I didn't want to look.
I thought they burned it.
Didn't want to look.
Ugh.
I didn't want to look.
I just saw someone that I know, someone in high school that had it done, and she was like the cool goth chick, and I remember her doing it. I just knew her. We weren't friends or anything, but I remember her telling stories about how you had to like do the exercises, which was basically doing like moving it with your tongue, because your tongue is one of the fastest healing organs in your body.
The piggies who went to the market dance?
The piggies, you do that with the tongue, because if not, it would heal back together. Like in a matter of like days.
Oh.
So you had to keep doing it until it started
I don't think
healing.
my tongue could do that. Like my brain doesn't think like.
But it would if it was cut in half. Like
Yeah.
you could, it was an exercise. So there was an exercise that they had to practice and like strengthen the muscle so that it didn't heal back together. Because I know people that have done it and then had to do it again because it started closing.
The thing that sucks is like you can't really eat anything or like when you get it done the first 5 days. Like you can't take like. There was this guy and he like couldn't take pain meds. He couldn't drink anything because he was so swollen and he couldn't eat. So he got like really sick.
It just doesn't sound fun.
No.
I mean,
it's probably cool at a party. Like,
yeah.
But like,
but like, is that worth it?
maybe to some people.
I mean, in the long run, think about things that we do that are not necessarily like the smartest things, or like tattooing your body. Your skin is raw for days. There's protocol you have to do to
then you
help
look
it heal
real
properly.
cool.
But then it looks really cool in the end. So, I mean, it's all like personal preference.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a higher risk. And when I was doing research, there was a lot of plastic surgeons. So smart people will go to a plastic surgeon and say, "Hey, will you do this?" And a lot of them won't because it's an important organ and it's dangerous.
It's liability. Like
Yeah.
if a surgeon, I don't know, it's just not.
But I don't think I'm not sure what the danger level is, because I don't know how many like nerve endings that you have in
Could
there.
you like
that-
lose your taste or something? I
don't
wonder.
know.
Like I don't know
know.
how that really works.
If anyone's have
I don't
their
know.
tongue
Just
split,
trying to
let us
figure
know.
it out.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know how it works and how it felt. Okay, so do you had some like historical things that you wanted to touch upon?
Well, kind of, sort of, but I did them already because I was a little bit antsy. Because I was going to talk
Got
a
so
little bit
excited.
about scarification, because I was like super interested, because I saw like, I was doing a lot of research in college about like these like photo documentary pieces, and it was a lot of these like, you know, photojournalists who they go to foreign countries and they'd see all these like crazy like, you know, different textures on people's skins and stuff, and it was all scarification, and like it was actually really beautiful. And like, you know, obviously in America we don't see it as often, but in like all these tribes it was like super normalized and part of tradition. So like obviously scarification is cutting repeatedly with like a scalpel or a similar kind of utensil, and there's like a lot of different methods. So like basically what it looks like is like your skin and then like essentially a scar, but it's raised, and there's like different ways you do it. So like certain tribes, they'll do like a hatching thing where that means something. Nowadays we see people with a fucking heart as a scar, and you're like, okay, cool.
What does that mean?
I saw a girl that had all across her whole back, it was like E equals MC
I saw
squared.
that
And I'm
one
like,
too.
you
could have just got
I saw
that
that
as a
too.
tattoo.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But I mean, it's just crazy looking, and it looks like, you know, when you see a tattoo that's done really well and it looks like art. And again, this is all perspective, to certain people that looks like art, but it looks painful. Like you see it on her back and you're like, and it's healed and everything's fine, and it probably doesn't hurt her if you even touched it, but you see it and you're like, oh, that just
It's just
looks
because
like
you
it
feel
hurts.
like, yeah, I mean, when I got this boo-boo, this fine one the other day, I was like, it still hurts. And
Yeah.
I'm like a baby.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like there's this other technique. There was a lot of different ways they do this, but something called ink rubbing, where they do the scarification and then they rub ink into the fresh cuts
So that when
it
it
actually
raises up.
tattoos.
I
yeah.
was gonna say that's kind of like.
But
that.
like that's literally like I feel like it's like putting sand in a wound or something.
Right.
Like it
Yeah,
just,
like salting the wound.
yeah.
Well, it's like when you get a tattoo and then they like they're going, you're like, okay, this is fine. And then they like rub it with like the alcohol or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And then they start again. And I'm like, okay, now this sucks.
Yeah. Where
like,
they like you
or
get
they
to the
go
end where
over
they're
the
like
same
shading.
lines.
Yeah.
You're like,
again.
I want to be done. I
The
don't want it
one,
anymore.
the big one that I got on my side, my tattoo, I remember I got it when I was like 20 and I was so stupid. I was like, I want every single thing I like on the same thing.
you're that person.
I was
that all
like,
the,
it has
like,
a fucking
jokes make fun of.
chandelier, a clock, because I'm always busy, like all this dumb shit, like all these fucking
You're like, all
flowers.
together, though.
Yeah,
Just one
my
spot.
name in Japanese, like all this shit. It's like I wear very dark tops for a reason to hide it. But when I went, like the guy, I don't know if I just didn't do my research, but it like took way longer than it needed to, and he was just going over the same lines like over and over again, and I was like crying. Because like it's just like it felt like he was like putting a dagger in like an open
like a
flesh
hot
wound.
flame on it.
Yeah.
My first tattoo was this one on my wrist, and I remember like they did the little. I don't remember. Did he do the stencil? I don't know if he even did a stencil. I think he just
He
I guess
free-handed it?
No, I guess he did a stencil. I don't.
He had
I don't
to have
remember. I
done a
feel like I blocked a
stencil.
lot of out of my mind. But the second that the needle hit my wrist, I just remember thinking, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. It hurt so bad. And then as he's going, like my initial thing is I started holding my breath because it hurts so bad, which makes it even worse because you're not breathing. And he had to give me like those little, like, there's like sugar tabs or something. He gave me something to eat because I was basically ready to pass out.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't show it. I was like trying to keep it together that I was
Yeah, you
super
gotta look
tough.
cool. You're in a tattoo
Right.
shop. Are you
I'm like,
kidding?
I'm super tough. This is fine. I was like, I hate my life. I don't want to do this at all. I'm done. And then at the end, he starts shading with the white and rubbing with the paper towel. And I was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
I always feel like white hurts the most, but I don't know.
But usually
if
it's towards the
I think it's
end.
because they do white at the end because you don't want to like do a bunch of white lines and then
cover
like
it up.
cover like
Right.
It's art
smear
shit.
black onto
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
It's the process.
Yeah.
But by that point, you're like, I
You're
don't.
It's
like-
already raw as shit.
your endorphins have like kind of come and gone, and you're
Right.
like, okay, cool. Like, I feel like most of my tattoos, like none of them like hurt to where I'm like, this sucks, please stop. Except for I got my like K2SO on right here, and it was
like on your calf.
which like when it at first it didn't hurt, but then I think because he would put so much detail into it and he wanted to finish it in one session, that towards the end, like he would like, I just felt like every time he would start in a different area, it felt like it was in the same spot. And I'm like, is there a reason why you're hitting that one spot
Like the
over and
whole
over and
time?
over? I think you got that one spot, but
Yeah.
then I'd look and he'd be like way down here,
Yeah.
even though I felt it here. It's so weird.
I don't, the wrist one, as he's going, and he's like, yeah, this is probably one of the most sensitive spots. And I was like, that would have been a good note to tell me before you started, because I might have, probably didn't change my mind, but I might have. But like my fingers didn't really hurt. This, I have a cat up here and it kind of hurt like more by the veiny part of my arm, but like this didn't really hurt. I don't know. I
the only
didn't
one
know what
that
to
hurt
expect.
for me was my side, because I think
Well, yeah,
he didn't
sides
know what he was
suck.
doing. Like, and it like it's pretty sad because it's
Sides
fucking
hurt,
big.
too.
But yeah, like I have like one down my spine, and then like that was supposed to hurt, and I was like, I can't feel a thing. I think I'm just like numb from
Yeah,
like
at this point you're like, I don't, whatever.
no, like I could fall asleep. Like I almost fell asleep for this one if I wasn't talking.
I can't fall asleep at all. I have to
It
have
totally
eyes on it.
relaxes me, like the vibrations. I'm just like, ooh, that's like my air conditioner from 1997.
It's like fiery razor blades is what it feels like
I
to
like
me.
it.
So.
I'm always like, oh, it feels like a kitty is licking my skin. It doesn't feel like that in real life. It kind of feels like you have a sunburn and someone is taking like a really like small needle and like rubbing it through.
It's
'Cause
like-
it has this heat,
It's like if
which is the
someone
weirdest thing.
Electrified squirt and put it into your body.
Squirt.
Said it right this time.
Ashley had a squirt for the first time today, and she
That
likes it a lot. She also has a different name for it, but I'll let you.
I already forget what it was. Spoink?
Spoink.
Oh, spoink.
So we're talking about a beverage. And I was saying, you haven't had squirt, you should try mine. And then like a couple minutes goes by and she looks at me and what did you say?
Can I have a spoink?
Can I have a spoink?
No, I was like, I think I want a spoink.
And I stared at her and she said it again. And then I'm continuing to
does
stare
that
at her.
mean?
And then she said it again. And then she looked at the drink and I was like, oh, you mean squirt, not spoink.
Not from here.
But it's close enough. Okay, so scarification, none of us have that.
No.
Would any of us do that?
well, I do have a scar from when I thought my finger was a pipe cleaner, but it's my own demise.
But not like you didn't
I didn't do
purposely
it for art purposes.
Right.
I literally thought my fat ass finger was a pipe cleaner. I wanted to cut it. I was young.
I have so many questions.
I was young.
But not like you didn't go into it saying like, I want a
I didn't
scar.
want to be a body modificator at the age of 7. I was
Good.
not
That's
in
good to
that
know.
That's good
frame
to
of
know.
mind.
Oh, so we were talking about piercings. Do you know anyone that ever did a corset piercing?
No, but that
No.
seems.
Those freak me out.
I always thought it looked so, I would never
It
do it
looks
to myself,
cool.
but it looks so freaking cool. And I remember like in my high school metalhead days, there was a lot of girls that like, that was the cool thing to do is get the corset piercing. And I remember.
Where were their mothers?
I don't know, but it was like, think about how many holes. So you had to get enough on each side of your spine so that you could lace up a faux corset. And then when I was doing research, I found people that were doing like extreme corset piercing, which was essentially a corset laced and then a wider one around it. So they had like 2 corsets. My question is, how do you take a shower with that? How do you lace your own corset? Because
I think you need someone to
You
do
need
it for
help.
What if
you.
someone is like your enemy and they just start pulling it while you're walking?
there's also
Yeah.
Like,
another-
hey, bitch.
yeah.
Like that's my biggest fear
instead of
because it
pulling hair,
actually
you
it
just pull
looks
the
like
corset strings.
it looks kind of cool. Like I wouldn't do it myself,
Yeah.
but it's a cool concept.
It looks awesome. Definitely too extreme for me.
Yeah, I had some friends that had surface piercings, but I think she had it in her chest. But I'm just like,
Oh, that's just when they're like
Cardi
where-
B has
floating.
those.
where you're like,
Oh
this.
yeah. People
But-
would do them here on your collarbone.
And then on your hips too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, even just the hips one, like when you're putting your pants on, like if you hit it the wrong way, I
Yeah.
feel like that would be so painful, and you just have to like, I don't know. I feel like I would
you have to
hit
be
it all
very.
the time.
I'm
on
very
accident.
clumsy. I run into things. I like.
I don't even wear
snag.
pants and I don't want it. Like I'm just kind of
You're like that's just uncomfortable. What else? So I had a list that was called the 13 most extreme body mods, but then I clicked on the list and then it had like 1 through 19. So I was confused from the beginning because 13 is not 19.
Yeah.
But it just had basically random photos. One that I found very interesting was saline injections. I don't know if you guys saw any of those. So essentially,
I think so.
wait. Is that the one where it's temporary?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy, there's a photo of a guy
The
that had
guy
it with the forehead, and he kind of just looked like an underwater sea creature.
Yeah.
So what they do is essentially you inject saline into different parts of your body. Most people would do it from what I saw photos in their face, but you're injecting salt water underneath the skin, which typically only lasts like about an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer before your body absorbs it.
And you look crazy.
And he looked like he had a tumor on his face. Like there was nothing aesthetically, like when you see people that
It
have
would be
the-
funny if like you had to take a family portrait and you showed up like that. Like, well, you
That'd be
asked me to
great.
be at my Sunday best.
and he's got like a giant
Yeah.
saltwater ball on his face.
Just like speeding down the highway as it deflates. I gotta get to the family portrait.
I only got 60 minutes. So the reason I found it interesting is because it's so temporary. And you are at super high risk because if you inject it into a blood vessel or certain parts of the skin, you can cause permanent damage.
Yeah.
So you're like the dermal implants, which I think you're going to get into,
Yeah.
are semi-permanent because you
1 to
can't take
5
them
years.
out. But they're not necessarily going to go away after an hour.
An hour just
you know?
seems insane. I feel like the process to get it set up to do it, or the setup and the process of doing it would be an hour. So
Yeah.
it's like,
And then
Yeah, by
you
the time
do
you get
it
it, you
for-
pay for it.
and then
and
go to
drive
an
out,
event?
it's gone. Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Drive
Go
to
to an event?
Wendy's? Like,
I would like,
Freaks
I
some
would
people
like
out.
4 square hamburgers, please.
yeah, and then
Thank
you roll up and she's like, "Oh shit, you got a hamburger in your brain, son."
It looks like you just got hit in the
Yeah.
face and you swell really insanely.
like
so
you do it right
It's like
before
Benedict
a photo shoot.
Cumberbatch's natural like face. What do you get?
What?
Stung by a bee?
Oh, that's what kind of it does look like.
Yeah,
someone
it
just got
like there's
stung
like
by
a
something.
meme about that where
Yeah.
it's like this guy got stung by a bee and he looked like Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever his name is. It's like
Does
the
he
same.
look weird? I feel like he
Well-
looks normal.
If he got if he got stung by a bee, he looked crazy. He
Yeah.
looked like he hit the saline.
I mean,
we should make that a rap song. Hit the saline.
Hit the saline.
Hit the saline.
Like the ceiling, but the
the
saline.
saline. And I'll just get stung by my bees and
Yeah.
then like for the music video. 'cause
Yeah,
I
and we'll
get-
drop honey from
I love it.
surfaces.
I love
don't
it.
know, from holes.
People would watch that.
from unclosed piercings in the ceiling.
What is happening?
My visual like interpretation of that music video is very crazy right now. I don't know if I like it or not.
Honey, pass the saline.
So saline injections, I feel like are very strange.
Yeah.
I don't. Body suspension. Did you guys see anything about
I
body
can't do it. I
suspension?
can't do it. I can't do it.
I know people who do that, and it's like, I know. So like, here's the thing, because I would never do it. It freaks me the fuck out. But like the way that they describe it, it's almost like this euphoric experience.
Yeah,
I was
like
going to
it's-
say that about
yeah,
the saline injections.
amazing.
I wonder if there's a feeling that they get from
there's
it.
a release thing.
Huh.
But for the saline, because I don't know if you get a feeling from that, and that's why you would do
Not
it
from
for.
the, I think the saline's some bullshit. I think you have a fetish with like fucking balloons or something, and you're like, I want to be a
look
balloon.
like a blowfish.
That's
I don't
what
know,
I think.
whatever it
You
is.
can come at me in the comments,
Yeah.
but I do know that the suspension thing
suspension?
is like an actual.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking about it, and I know people like not necessarily like close friends, but I know friends of friends that have done it or were super into it. And I was always thinking that they go and then they put the hooks in the skin and then they go hang. But what usually they do, it's already healed piercings.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's raw flesh that they're going to, because if it was
it's not
raw,
like Texas Chainsaw Massacre where
Yeah.
he's like picking you up and putting you on the spike.
If it was raw and there was a lot of weight and stuff, the skin would tear. But if it's healed, if the piercing is healed, it's not as painful.
It's thick and ready.
It's basically scarred up and like healed
Yeah.
around it, but still super crazy because when you see someone hanging from their back and
Or
there's
like when they swing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when they're like using their body weight to like swing themselves around and
I can't even do
My
that
back
like
hurts.
pull up style with my hands.
I can't even do one pull up.
Yeah.
So
I can't
Can't
do a
I can
push-up
barely
or a pull-up.
swing my ankles. Like, are you kidding me? Fuck.
I just imagine all of us right now hanging from the ceiling from like our back skin. And I don't feel like I have enough back skin to do it.
Is that what our music video is gonna look like?
Hanging from the back skin. Our album is going to be very confusing, and most people are going to be like, I don't know if I want this.
It's gonna be called Backskin Necessities. Album
I already
one.
forgot our Saline. What was the Saline song?
The saline.
Saline. I need to write all of these down.
Skin girls.
Backskin.
Back
We can
Like the
always
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
But like low budget. High quality production
High
though,
quality
just low
production.
budget.
Low
Everything
budget.
looks good, but the quality is not there.
But
The
from-
quantity
it's kind of like from the back when like shit's all fucked up, but from the front it looks good.
like my harness right
Yeah.
now looks really good from the front, but if I turn
Like
around,
my
it's a little bit
onesie
of a
that's
mess.
unsnapped and zipping out. Yeah, but really good from the front.
But from the front is all that matters because there's no camera
Yeah.
angle from the back. So,
Yeah.
well, except for our back skin. We'll talk it out later.
We'll make a t-shirt. It's fine.
It's fine. We'll do
make
it
a
later.
t-shirt of our backskin.
It's so my skin.
If anyone has any back hair, just take it off because we need to.
Yeah, what if
photocop.
your back hair gets ripped? I guess that's the least of your problem.
Yeah, I don't think your back hair.
I
has
don't think I've
anything
ever
to do
seen a
with it.
guy do it actually.
Skin
Hanging?
suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The photo that I was looking at was a guy,
Oh,
and it
What's
was
his
crazy because he
name?
had no tattoos, no piercings or anything, but just two giant
hanging
hooks
out.
in his back.
What's the Navarro?
Dave Navarro.
David Navarro? He does it. And he has like these videos where he does it over his pool
Yeah,
in
I've
his backyard
seen
and they
it,
like
yeah.
swing him all nuts and I'm just like I can't watch
Swinging
this.
his nuts.
He's swinging. Not really. Well,
Well, really?
I guess maybe.
I mean, I feel like I
Could you
wanna-
imagine having him as a neighbor and you
You're like having,
over your balcony? And
you're having your nice Sunday lemonade.
I do believe he's trying to kill himself. And they're like, no, it's just Dave Navarro
He's just flying.
reading a newspaper. Helps me get my morning shit out. Just let me swing.
Just swing it on out.
Literally.
And again, we're laughing because we're making like visual things in our minds, but like
That aren't accurate at all.
No disrespect
No,
to anyone
yeah,
that's into this stuff because I know to everyone things have like personal meaning. But that
And
would be
I'm too chicken shit
yeah,
to do it.
I'm
absolutely.
just, yeah, I laugh because I know I cannot do it.
You know what? In the last week, I had some moles removed. And they,
Oh my
like,
God.
scalpeled
Alert
me.
the media.
Like, nothing crazy, but they like basically.
Wait, I
take
didn't
a-
see that on your Instagram story.
You know what?
That's rude.
Not everyone needs.
It wasn't
to know everything.
sponsored.
It wasn't sponsored.
What's your referral code for my getting
Do you
my
need a
moles?
mole removed? Because I watched her do it, I was like, this is really easy. I could totally done this myself. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
But it was so painful, and like the aftercare and everything is so painful. So I can't even imagine. Like they just scraped off some skin. I can't
Yeah.
imagine putting hooks in my
Yeah.
back holes. Thank you.
Let your back holes breathe. Fuck.
And then you would also have the, I feel like after doing it for so long, you would have like my stretchy earlobe problem.
Oh
You'd
yeah,
have,
is
like,
your skin stretchy?
They
stretchy
probably
back
have
holes.
procedures that like, you know,
Or maybe there's
suck
only
it.
a certain amount of time that you can do it.
Cool.
Then you need
Sculpting,
then you
maybe.
need a new back hole.
And they don't call you Captain Hook anymore. Shit.
Do most people, so I didn't delve deep. I just did like surface skin suspension, but most people just do it from the back, right?
Well,
Does
they
anyone
can
do
do
from
it
the
from
front?
They can do it. They can put all of them here, and they can like lay like, oh man, like a sacrifice. No, because that's the one. Like I see a lot of people who are like, it's this
From the
euphoric,
stomach?
like spiritual. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they do it or flopped, where it's like their bag and they're like, hello, it's a party. But like a spiritual, like
I would love to go to a skin suspension ceremony that you are administering or like doing
Refereeing?
the announcer voice too, because I feel like it would be so entertaining.
in this corner, weighing in at
However, whatever.
Captain Hook. Captain Hook. Snacks and refreshments will be provided.
Have you known anyone that has done elf ears? Because I find
No, I
this
see
one
them
so cool.
online.
It's
I
so
wanted
cool
to take.
looking
I
me.
wanted to get ear surgery because I hate ears. Not to take them off, but like I've wanted to make them smaller because I fucking hate
But
them.
you don't have big ears.
Yeah,
You
they
have
are.
little ears.
Nope.
Let's see them.
Nope.
I feel like I have.
I wanted to.
Do it on this side so the camera
Kris
can't-
Jenner got her earlobes cut off. I want to get my earlobes cut off so they're little.
So what's the thing? It's a I don't know what you call it. A genetic
Elephant ears?
No, no. You know how some people have earlobes? Like I have
Yeah.
an earlobe,
Yeah.
and then
And
there's
some
people
they
that
just go
have
straight
the
out.
straight line.
Yeah,
And
I want
it's,
those straight lines. I don't like these fucking lobes.
I think it's usually the opposite. I think people like
No.
the
People like a
lobes.
lobe.
But I
feel like-
also I want to cut off where all the infection is.
oh, you want to cut off like
Yeah.
the piercing area. I mean, I wouldn't recommend just going to cut off your earlobes.
Well, there's a doctor. He just never wrote back to me. I was so excited. I'm like, this is gonna be my first plastic surgery. And I was like, when the first year I moved here, I had like extra money, and I was like, I'm gonna do this ear thing, and it's gonna be for me. I wrote this big long email, and he just never wrote
He's
back.
like, who's this crazy person who
He's like, your
doesn't
ears are
want their
fine.
no,
ears?
I didn't even send him a photo. I was just like,
That's probably
this will
your
change my
main-
life.
well, I
And then-
mean, if you're like, "Rrr," he's
no,
probably
well,
not gonna
I was like, "Rrr," but I had the money, so like I was
So
gonna
you should've
pay him,
responded.
and it was an outpatient thing. So I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, take my money, dude. Well, I mean,
Not anymore. Now I
think
got
your
elephant
earlobes-
ears
I
still.
think
Fuck.
your earlobes are fine the way they are. They're
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, mom.
Have you, you're welcome. Have you either of you had a desire to have elf ears?
No.
No.
I don't think I've like necessarily wanted
want
to, but I think
big
it
Wanna
looks
be
really
an elf.
cool.
I think it looks really cute.
Yeah. The
But-
picture was this girl and she had these tiny little
Photoshop.
ears. No, hers were, she was like,
No, but I'm saying
you could just
know.
Photoshop them. I know. But like
But
in
if
real
you want
life,
to be an elf in real life,
Well, I'll just sew it together.
that's what they do. They cut it
and they
and then
pinch
they
it
pinch
and it's
it
real
and they
cute.
do a little sew.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know why I would want that or why
I don't
would
even
do
want
that, but it
ears.
just,
I feel like you could just get a little.
you could just
One
get
of
the
those
little
little
fake
things that
things
goes
that
on
you
it.
put on there. And
Okay, Legolas. Fuck.
wait, you were talking about a guy that wanted to be, he cut off his ears?
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
me.
who was that? You?
Not
So,
me.
Somebody was talking about it.
yeah, he. So I had saw this guy on Ripley's, believe it or not. I call him Parrot Dude, but he's Ted Parrot Man. He lives in
thing.
Bristol, UK, and he loves birds and parrots so much that he wants to resemble them. And he, like, they showed his house too. I think he had like, I don't remember the number, but he had a ton of parrots that lived with him. And his whole house, the interior was just kind of like, you know how in a parrot cage you have like the rope, like, you know, the colorful ropes and like the
There's like
swings.
a bird cage in his house.
Yeah,
no.
so the interior of his house just had all like the swings and the little ladders, and like they just kind of roamed wherever they
It
wanted.
was like a giant parrot cage, so the
Yeah.
birds could just go wherever.
Mhm. Yeah, they could go wherever.
I was like, I imagine him sitting like
That's
he
what
doesn't
I was
have a couch.
thinking.
Maybe.
He just has a rope for a couch.
But he first, like, you know, he just was kind of he just loved them. He had a bunch of them, and then he would color his hair different colors.
Sounds
and
like
then-
Tusk.
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
At
Except
what
he didn't
point-
do it to someone else.
Right. At what point does your love for something like go so extreme that you want to become
That you make
that
your
thing?
own meat suit.
It's when you start doing body modification.
Yeah.
So he started tattooing his face. So like he has he replicated like the feathers and the colors going up his forehead. And then you know how they have like the black and white texture underneath their eyes. So he got that done. He got his eyeballs tattooed so that they would be like full of color. He got his earlobes cut off so that it's just like a little hole.
So this whole thing?
His whole earlobe
ear?
is gone.
If I
He
met
just has
someone
the
who didn't have
hole.
ears, I would always just be like, hey man, you left ears at home. You might want to go get them. Like I would make like dad jokes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
But
mean.
he'd be like,
Yeah.
but I'm a bird.
But I'm a bird. I'm
and
a
then
parrot.
that's where I'd be
don't
like,
have
I don't have any rebuttal.
yeah, I'd be like,
You're
okay,
like, okay.
whatever.
That's when I walk away.
So yeah, I think he was saying like, obviously he understands that he's not going to look exactly like a parrot. And his example was because parrots have their eyes on the side of their heads, but he's like, but if I could do that, I would.
Wow.
This was like a while ago, so I don't know like what he's doing in 2020.
Right.
But he did, the last thing that I saw, he wanted to get his nose like kind of reshaped to be more like a beak.
Yikes.
That's like reverse of what everyone usually wants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, no, I want it to be small.
Yeah.
But there's like lizard man. There's there's a couple of variations of the tiger guy. I think they're men.
Not to be confused with the king.
Not the tiger
Not the
king.
king.
They want to look like a tiger. And they do extreme surgical procedures to make those modifications. This kind of all started because I started looking up eyeball tattoos, and I was so fascinated by them and the fact that he did that. And I'll just wrap it up really quickly because we have to move on. But essentially, when you get an eyeball tattoo, they are injecting ink into a thin layer of the skin called the conjunctiva. I think that's how you say it. And it's as permanent as any tattoo.
That sounds like conjunctivitis.
Right.
I've gotten
It's that same part of
Shit.
the eye where you get conjunctivitis, which I have gotten to. It is terrible. It's awful.
I think
But most of these stories about eyeball tattoos are stories of people going blind because people are not doing it properly. They're injecting in the wrong part of the eye. One extreme one, which will show a picture on the screen, so you have to watch to see.
Look away. Oh.
Look away if you don't want to see it.
We're
Most
looking to our eyes.
of the stories where it went extremely wrong were because they were not doing it properly.
Yeah.
So this one guy in Mexico, and I don't know, it says he's Mexican, but I'm assuming the way they were writing all the stories were because they were in a different country. So there was one in Poland where this girl goes blind, and this guy in Mexico, he gets an eyeball tattoo. They only do one. So he wants his eyes to be green. So they do one, he's feeling pain. And essentially what they had injected, I wrote notes down because they had injected
Saline.
No, it was diluted alcohol, distilled water, and glycerin mixed with the ink.
That's a cocktail.
And
doesn't sound-
when you look at the photo, it literally looks like
my
his
eyeball
eye
hurts.
is made of ooze, like
Ew.
Slimer ooze, and it's dripping out of his eye.
Ew.
So when I saw it, I was like, oh, his eyeball had to have fallen out. Like, there's no way that can go back
But
to a
it's
normal
lived.
eye. He ended up having to go through like 2 weeks of antibiotics, and it went back to normal, like a normal eyeball. His eye was still green, but he had so much of whatever the solution was, it ended up dyeing his actual like eye socket. Like his skin ended up being green. There's a girl who wanted her eyes purple, and so they're injecting it into the part of the white of the eye. So it gotten so swollen that basically the whites of the eye were swollen around the iris, like the
Ew.
colored part of your eye.
Oh.
I don't think she went blind, but she had like some severe problems for a while.
It's making me squirmy.
My
So-
eyes hurt so bad.
To me, when I first saw it, I was like, this is so fascinating because it's like demon eyes. When I
Yeah.
saw they were dark, but I didn't know people were doing like all colors of the rainbow. And it looks it's fascinating, but it's such high risk. And it's your vision. So
Yeah.
you do that and you're like, okay, is it worth me never being able to see
well,
again?
if I was like 80 years old and I was in a fuck it mentality and had some money,
I guess
I'd
that's
be like,
when
you
you
know
can
what?
be
Let
like,
me
hey,
go
who
out as a
cares?
demon.
Yeah.
So at my wake, I'm like, keep my eyes
that would be
open.
so- Don't close them.
Keep them open.
You're just like arms are crossed and demon eyes. That would
like
be
a
pretty
demon.
cool.
That would be
That's
pretty
a-
great.
Could we put that in our wills? So
I thought you were going to say on our album. I was like, well,
we
we
can
do
put it
both.
in our album. We can put it in the music video.
Okay, that'll be our
But you'll have to
Demon eyes.
Photoshop
Yeah.
it because I'm not
man, as I'm
sacrificing my
crying.
eyeballs.
I think I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I heard that when you get it done, if you want them both, you do it one at a time just in case something goes wrong. You could be like, okay, no, let's not
shit.
do
I'm
the
only
other
blind
one.
in one
Yeah.
eye. Yeah, and I think at the
That's comforting.
there was a girl in Poland and she was like, explaining why she did it. Cause a lot of people she's on Instagram, she's posting and everyone's like, why would you do that? You're ruining your body, whatever. But that can be said about any sort of body modification. And she's like, to me, it's a feeling of like, it's something that I want. And the fact that I can do it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So no one else is going to understand why it makes me feel good, but it's good enough for me. But unfortunately she ended up going blind in one eye.
Yeah.
And I think she did the other eye. So it looks fine. Like it looks like her eyeballs are tattooed.
Because
but
you
she
got one eye
can't-
going
She
strong.
can't see
it's
out
fine.
of them. So
You know, you only need one eye to drive.
I mean, I think you need two eye. Do you need just
No,
one
I think you're
No,
allowed.
just one.
I think that you just get the little sticker on your driver's license that say that you are visually impaired a little bit.
Like I had that, and because I had contacts. But
Yeah.
I mean,
My license says I has dick eyes.
what?
It says I have dick eyes.
What?
I'm not kidding.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Like DICK?
I went. They couldn't figure out the color of my eyes because they were going crazy that day, and they just put DIC, dick eyes, dick color.
So under eyes it says DIC.
yeah,
What is? That's an acronym for something.
no, it didn't. Apparently, not.
dick.
It's an acronym for dick. If anyone works at the DMV, can you tell us what DIC eyes
I only
means?
drive with my eyes open when I'm looking for that D.
Does it really? Is that a real thing?
Get that
I feel
thing
like
out.
I don't believe
trust
you.
it. I don't trust you.
Your eyes are green though, or like hazel. They say hazel. Look at me right now.
Well, I'm crying.
She's crying. They're like hazel, green. Isn't hazel where they like change?
I don't fucking know.
I wanted them to put blue because I normally have blue hair, but I wanted them to do blue for my hair.
Wait, I don't see. Where does it say eyes?
Oh yeah.
Dick. Can confirm. Yeah,
Okay.
that definitely means something else.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
means I'm special.
Well, on that note, does anyone have anything to add about body modifications, or should
No.
we move on to all of your favorite parts of the episode?
I think if you want to do body modifications to feel more comfortable in your body, I think you should do it, but I think you should be safe about it. And I think
Absolutely.
you should go to a professional. You should not do
to
it
Leanna.
Don't
at
do what I did.
home.
Don't.
Please do not.
Don't.
Even if you're gonna get your ears pierced, please go to a tattoo shop. They are much more qualified than the
Than the
teenager
16-year-olds at
16-year-olds that they give those
the gun?
clickers to, because
Yeah.
that halfway through sometimes that doesn't even work.
No clickers, no clamps.
No
Yes. Well,
Clamp.
clamps,
No.
but not at home.
No clamps at home. Let the
So-
professional do the piercing or tattooing or
Yes.
scarification or whatever it is that you're going to do.
Remember, you get what you pay for. So yes, it might have a bigger price tag on it, but you're probably getting a more professional person.
No
Well, I've
blindness.
gotten shit for free that's very nice, like this, but I will not say that happens all the time.
Isn't it a friend?
No.
Oh.
No,
It
not
was-
really. Crazy person.
And with that note, be safe.
Yes.
Choose a professional.
Yes.
And we are going to move on to what's in the coffin. All right. All right. So we are back for what's in the coffin. This is Ashley's item concoction. And right before we started, her and Cameron are like making faces, and you
Well, 'cause I made
apologized
it-
before we even started.
Well, I've never done this before.
She got us napkins.
Yeah.
It came out different than I thought, but yeah.
Should we just go?
Yeah.
I'm just
But
not
like
happy.
tread lightly.
AJ is like doesn't like life right now. She is not happy. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. This is the bowl. Oh,
Wait, where is it? Do you have it?
put your hand down.
Oh, it feels like Jello.
Oh, stop
Ew,
making
when
it's
you
like tap,
when you
it's like-
push on it, bubbles were coming out.
Wait, I think I know what it is. It's in water because it's floating around. It's
a
pudding.
No.
It's tapioca.
No.
It's foamy. Oh.
What is
But it's
that?
like it's stuck to my skin.
I'm pushing it against the wall of the thing.
It almost feels like it's bread.
No.
Mold. Oh, wet bread. Oh, that
It
would
feels
help.
like wet bread, but it has like it's like a sponge almost.
Kind of.
It's a sponge
Sticky,
in
though.
water.
No.
A magic eraser. No, a magic eraser.
No,
wouldn't
'cause
turn
it-
I wouldn't
that.
waste a
coming
magic
apart.
eraser on you guys. They're expensive.
Is it edible? Can you eat it?
Yes.
You can eat this?
Well, I wouldn't eat it right now. But
Can you eat it if it's not in water?
Yes.
Is it lard?
No.
Is it beans?
I wish.
I feel like I have to get on one knee here. I got it in there.
Propose to it.
What color is it? White?
No.
Is it brown?
No.
Green?
No.
Purple?
No.
Blue?
No.
What haven't we said?
Yellow.
Yellow.
No.
Orange?
Yes.
Is it pumpkin innards?
No.
It's orange and you can eat it.
Yep.
And is it a vegetable?
Fuck no.
Is it a
I was gonna say
dessert?
Sweet
Nope.
potato.
Is it? This is dumb. I don't like this game anymore.
Yeah. Can we just see what it is?
It's orange and you eat it. Is it a carrot?
No. Cameron, don't give any guesses.
He just did a bite sound, but it has these like little balls
Carrots?
in it.
No.
Cheez-Its? What Cheez-Its?
You're close.
What?
Wet cracker sandwiches.
No. What?
Wet-
Oh my! The fish. Goldfish.
Goldfish?
No.
Oh.
Cheese. It's goldfish. What else is
Cheese.
orange? Cheese doodles.
Yes.
Cheese puffs.
It's yes.
Cheetos.
It's-
Cheetos.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wasted Cheetos.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells weird when it's wet.
Right? That's what
Oh,
she
just-
said.
It smells like. Is it Cheetos or like
Yeah.
cheese balls?
It's Cheetos.
It's all in my nails.
I know that was
Well,
yuck yuck.
Wash them.
AJ, this is your thing.
This is my thing.
It's I worry when it comes to AJ's thing because you get like real weird with
She
like you
skins
just
grapes like a
you just
fucking
do
murderer.
like things that make my brain hurt a little bit and then scare me. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
It's a bowl.
It's a bowl.
Oh, okay. It's in water, in liquid.
It's a
Lena, your
liquid.
hand's too big.
Oh, sorry. Here, I'm taking up too much.
It's a fucking.
Is it broccoli?
Broccoli.
Yeah,
No.
it feels like
Why
steamed
do I
broccoli.
always make the goat noise?
Oh, it's crunchy with my nail. Where's your hands? Put it in the bowl. God damn
That's
it.
the thing. Ashley doesn't
Give me
actually
your hand.
touch it.
Well, her hand's so big.
My hand's not even in it. You go.
Oh wow, that's pineapple.
No,
It's a fruit.
I think so.
It's
a
a
veg-
guava.
It's a
guava.
what? It's a guava.
No.
It's edible.
Yeah.
It feels like steamed vegetables.
It's
No. Yeah, it's that.
That's exactly what it is.
potato.
No.
A potato. Is it something that you eat for
Are
dinner?
we just making
No.
vomit with
I know.
each
Is
thing?
everybody's bowl a bowl of vomit?
Look at Cam.
Are you saying, is that face of like disgust, surprise?
Is
He's
it
grossed out.
tuna?
No.
No, but I'm like
I think it's
stabbing it
gonna
with my
taste-
Is
nail.
it pink?
And it's crunchy.
Yeah, it's pink.
Would you put it in a salad? It's pink?
I guess you could
It's
put
lard.
it in a salad.
You could
Pink
put it
lard is pink? I thought it was white.
You could put it in
Lard
a
that comes
salad.
out at
It's
me is
pink.
pink.
Is it a rat? No, radish isn't this smushy.
No.
An onion.
And you said it's a fruit. You think it's a fruit?
A
Yeah.
kiwi.
It's pink. The only thing that I know that's pink and it's a fruit is,
It's a lemonade.
you know, the pink ones, the pink lemonade.
It's a strawberry lemonade.
It's
a
not a
strawberry.
strawberry. My arm's hurting.
It's a watermelon.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's watermelon all mushed up.
How did we not guess that? We
It's
just
a
like
we
throwback
just
to our
fucked with
last episode.
watermelon.
we had so much watermelon. This is my thing, and it's inside
My
the coffin.
slot's wet.
It's full of Cheetos and watermelons.
It's a cross.
It's use your words.
It's
Is it an iPhone?
wait. My sleeve won't let me go very far.
Wait, do I have it? Is there nothing else in the bowl? Oh, sorry.
You gotta like just feel around it.
It's an iPhone.
No.
Get-
Ow! It's a taser!
Is it?
That's not nice.
Is it a taser?
Ashley, you have to like feel around. You gotta feel, press.
It's just screwing with you right now, so you feel more of it. But feel more of it.
Is it a Pokemon game?
You have to help her. You just gotta like.
Wait, she has to help me.
She has to help you because you have to both like get.
It's a.
Turn it around.
You have to get to the part where there's an identifying thing on it that'll help you understand what
Again?
it is. Yeah,
No, like other way. Just flip the whole thing around that you have in your hand. There you go. Keep going.
and you'll feel something on there that like helps you identify what it is.
I don't like this game.
Just do it.
Feel.
You'll get it once you feel that thing.
Are my feelers not on?
You're really close.
You son of a bitch.
I have been waiting. Okay, just for shits, I'm gonna do it to myself. Where is it? Hold on.
Let's just say I'm gonna get real
Wait,
mean
I
next
want
time.
one of those.
So I did.
Wait, I was correct when I said it was an iPhone.
So I'm gonna do it to myself because it's a gag
you
phone.
get it?
I got it on Amazon. So I did this
Is
gag.
this supposed to be like the like when you leave your car open, like that show where they leave the car open
So they
and
can
you're supposed
steal
to
your
steal
phone?
it and then like
I want
Did you
one
do
of
it?
these.
Press it.
I already did it.
You have to like try to hold it
What
down.
if I do with my plastic
It won't
nail?
do it. You have to get your skin on it. Yeah.
I don't have skin.
So it's a I don't have skin. It's a shocking iPhone, and if you get it like just right,
Can you do it those on the side?
I don't actually. I've never tried the side buttons. I don't know if they work. I think it's just the front. Oh, does it work?
No.
It does or doesn't?
No.
Oh, it has a light.
There's some hose and
It's also a flash. That was $6.99 on Amazon. It has a light. Wow.
As a
Dude.
laser pointer?
I want one of those.
I mean,
You guys press the main button. I want to see you guys do it without.
yeah.
No.
It's,
I did it already.
oh God! It almost like made
No.
me do it again.
I've done it twice.
So when I first bought it, I took it out of the package and I was like, here, Cameron, try it. And it shocked the shit out of us. Like, I think the battery was just still really like
Charged.
like fresh. And I've had it literally, I lost it because I was going to do it for an episode way back when and I couldn't find it. And then I finally found it and I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. So I apologize, but
I should have gotten the.
Is it a Pokemon?
Should have been over. I was like,
it
it's
a
an
Pokemon?
iPhone. I knew it right away.
And I was like, I'm not going to tell her she's right yet. So I apologize. You guys are fair game to get back at me next episode. But
do
if you want
sewing
something really
needles
fun
next time.
to just a ball of needles,
Yeah.
if you want to trick your friends and get on Amazon shocking iPhone,
gonna get one.
my only drawback to it is it's really light. Like once you pick it up, you're like, oh, this is empty. So I would suggest like put it in a phone case so it feels heavier.
I
trick
kind
someone.
of really. I want to play a game.
Right?
With people
It's
with
fun.
that.
And it has, I mean, for $7,
Yeah.
a laser, a light, and a shocker.
That's all I want.
I think that is a sweet deal. So with that, that'll do it for this episode of Let's Get Spooky. I'm Leanna Vamp,
I'm AJ.
And I'm Ashley.
and you can watch all of our episodes at letsgetspooky.com. You can also listen on iTunes as well as Spotify. So don't forget to stay spooky.